So it's been years that people have been clamoring for Garmin to come out with their own version of a WHOOP strap, something that can be unobtrusive, out of the way, and still collect their daily health metrics to keep the data flowing into Garmin Connect when you don't want to be wearing your dainty 51mm watch. Well, Garmin heard your pleas and decided to bless us with the Garmin Sleep Index monitor. Okay, so that was a swing and a miss, but as many thought, it was a first step towards an actual display-less fitness tracker that could be used to collect daily wellness metrics. Well, now, thanks to Garmin's own leaks, we can confirm the CIRQA Smartband is on the way. Very soon. Let's jump in. Okay, so apparently that's the real name. The good folks at Garmin that came up with Index Sleep Monitor as a really catchy product name also have a banger here with CIRQA. That's C-I-R-Q-A, CIRQA Smartband. The word doesn't actually mean anything in English with that spelling, although there is some AI software company that's using it, so I guess that could get interesting. Now, there's been a smattering of leaks as internet sleuths start to dig up evidence around the CIRQA, so let's check that out now. The first leak comes directly from Garmin, so thanks to them. I'm starting to think they just kind of throw out product pages early to start generating hype. I mean, I guess it's working. I'm making this video and you're watching it, right? Anyways, they had a product page up for a very brief moment last week, and someone, of course, got a screen capture and shared it on Reddit. Firstly, you can see the name, the CIRQA, and it's called the Smart Band. So we're definitely looking at something without a display here. You can see that it comes in both small, medium size and large, extra large size. And we'll hit that again in just a moment. We'll see what that means. It will come in both black and French gray. Nothing very exciting there, but I guess neutral and easy to wear. More interesting is that it says it will ship within 4 to 5 months. But is that the actual timeline? And since I'm making this video in early February, we're looking at June or July release date? Or is that just a placeholder because the sales date was never put into that web page? That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, as we don't have a product image posted either. I don't really think that they'd put up a sales page for a product that they're going to be putting out like 6 months from now, halfway through the year. I think the date for the CIRQA release is very cerca. You see what I did there? You'd need to know some Spanish to get that zinger, but trust me, it's good. Now we have 2 other notable leaks to check out. There was a third one, but it got taken down before I had a chance to see it. There was apparently a product support page up on Garmin's website for like a minute, but there's nothing there now. So the 2 we have left are a Google listing, and you can see here this is for a foreign version of the Garmin site. You can see the same item numbers listed, so you're getting some continuity here, and you get an idea of the size for that small medium band, which is 12 to 20 centimeters. And we also see that the band that it's going to be shipping with are meant for use on the wrist. But the last leak that we have here could be the most interesting. And hey, right before I jump into that, if you're enjoying this coverage, please take 1 minute, not even 5 seconds, throw a thumbs up. If you like this sort of genuine, straightforward coverage of sports wearables, gadgets, and fitness training, then please consider a sub to help a small channel. Thanks, and back to it. So we take a look at a recent Instagram story from none other than the notorious Ray Maker, aka DC Rainmaker. This image was caught and sent to the 5K runner recently, which is where I saw it. I'll link to his site in the description. He's always on top of the latest and greatest, so be sure to check his site out if you don't already. Anyways, Ray is riding his bike and, quote, testing all the things, and check out the sensors on his arms. Look at the shapes here. I see what looks to me like a WHOOP, maybe a helio strap, or since Ray seems to hate Amazfit, maybe it's a polar loop. And on his other arm, we see it's well, we don't really know what that is. It kind of looks thinner and longer. It almost looks like the Panther Eclipse health tracker I've seen kind of making the rounds lately. Some other people have reviewed that, but it definitely doesn't look like the standard dimensions shared by WHOOP or Loop or Helio. And we all know that there's, well, less than a handful of reviewers that actually get Garmin devices early, and Ray's always working the inside track with Garmin. So is that the Garmin CIRQA on his arm? I think it's a pretty good guess that that's what we're looking at here. And if we think about it, what will this tracker actually look like? I think we're going to get a distinct design out of the Garmin CIRQA. And why is that? Well, WHOOP is suing the ever-loving crap out of everyone that's making something that looks vaguely like a WHOOP. That means Polar is getting sued for their loop. WHOOP is suing a Chinese company that's just making like random knockoffs of their products. So, I mean, good luck suing a company out of China. They're also suing a company that makes the Luna band. So it seems like WHOOP is kind of running out of ideas, and when you can't innovate, then it's time to litigate. But all that to say, Garmin isn't dumb enough to launch something that looks exactly like a WHOOP. Expect something new. Now, there's admittedly only so many ways to make a health sensor on a strap that you wear on your wrist, but I guess making it longer and skinnier is one of them. Now, speaking of health sensors, I'd expect some version of the Elevate Gen 5 sensor. I can't believe they'd reuse the Gen 4 this late in the game. The Instinct 3, which launched about a year ago at the time I'm making this video, did use the Gen 4 sensor, and it was very old back then. And at the same time, I wouldn't expect a new Gen 6 sensor to debut in a product that isn't a flagship device. Now, of course, we're talking no GPS on this, but you'd get pretty much everything else. You're getting heart rate readings, HRV, step count, blood oxygen level. ECG would likely be design dependent since you have to have proper contact points to do a reading. That would also need an update to the Garmin Connect app since there's no ability to perform an ECG test within the app right now. You can just look at test results. So I'd see that as probably an unlikely feature. Now, let's speculate about the price for a minute. Garmin absolutely loves a $170 price point for their high-end accessories. HRM 600, $170. Sleep index monitor, $170. So I'm willing to bet the Garmin CIRQA will retail at definitely more than $170. I think Garmin's going to market this as a standalone product, and it's going to be $249 type of price point, maybe even a little bit more. Here's why I think this will be pushed hard as a standalone product at a higher price. Garmin has been putting a lot of work into their app lately because the Garmin Connect app isn't bloated enough, right? No, but really, think about what they're adding in. Habit tracking, prominent feature of WHOOP. Garmin also added nutrition tracking. Again, WHOOP kind of has simple nutrition logging component, but they also integrate with other apps like Apple Health or Chronometer. So they're introducing more and more features that have nothing to do with fitness training, everything to do with day-to-day wellness tracking. So Garmin seems to be looking for feature parity compared to the WHOOP app, but I think they want to grab a chunk out of that member base who is just sick of subscriptions and give them a nice smooth transition into Garmin ecosystem. Now, speaking of subscriptions though, let's not forget the nutrition tracking I just mentioned is a Connect Plus feature that you need a subscription for. So how do we think Garmin Connect Plus is going to tie into the new CIRQA Smartband? Honestly, I wouldn't see any paywalled features specific to the new product. That would hamper sales, and it hasn't been part of their strategy in the past, and I wouldn't see it as part of their product strategy going forward. Connect Plus still seems pretty half-baked at the moment, and putting what should be a huge entry into a new product category behind a subscription paywall would be a pretty stupid thing to do in my opinion. So there you go. What do you think? These are just my thoughts. Again, as of the time I'm making this video, there's absolutely nothing confirmed about this product. Anything that we've talked about could change, even the things that have been presented by Garmin on their site. But I'm thinking it's going to launch within the next month, maybe 2 months at the latest. Let's say around $249 MSRP, no subscription needed for all of the features, and it's going to have a pretty distinct look compared to other fitness trackers out there. So with all that being said, are you going to get one? If I'm at least close on the price point, and of course it's subscription free, then I think it's a day one order for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I'm Dave, and this is Dave Does Fitness. Have an awesome day and stay fit.